Alright, so welcome back to another video and happy 4th of July. We're going to talk about a little bit of the history behind 4th of July and why it has to do with the Second Amendment.
So most people celebrate the 4th of July every year and they don't actually know the true meaning of it. But what they don't realize is that Congress actually approved it on July 4th, but it was way before that is when everything came about. And then, what was it, August 2nd?
Yeah, about a month later.
A little over about a month later is when it fully went into effect.
Yeah. And when, the Declaration of Independence, what it was all about, we had all of our founders, Congress, Congress didn't really, all of our founding fathers and everybody that started this movement of the anti-British, anti-crown, anti-parliament, we were signing the Declaration of Independence to send over to King George to say, hey, we're done with you. We're on our own. Stay away from us. We're declaring our independence. And the British didn't like that one bit. Now, before that, you had a lot of issues with the British and the Sons of Liberty. Everybody's heard of Paul Revere, I'm sure the Sons of Liberty. April 19th is a very important day in American history. That was the day of the first shots fired of the Revolutionary War. You may have learned about it in school, called the Shot Heard Around the World, because in the Battle of Lexington, nobody knew who actually fired the first shot. It was basically a standoff between the British and the colonial militia, about 200 of them or so. And they were pretty much standing, looking directly at each other, and then somebody fired, and then it was all over from there. And I know that the militia at the time in Lexington, they ended up having to retreat because they were way outnumbered. And this was when Paul Revere, way beforehand, rode through and warned them that the British were coming to take their weapons. They were going to take their muskets, their powder, everything. And they had time to organize. And they basically stood in the middle of the road and waited on the British to get there. It's pretty interesting. And
they didn't teach you this in school, though.
No.
I don't think we didn't talk about the 4th of July at all.
We didn't talk about a lot of the American Revolution. We heard a little bit about Paul Revere.
Yeah.
We learned a lot about the Trail of Tears, had to do with the Indians, but we never learned a lot of the American Revolution.
They never went in depth on anything like that.
And I think that's because they don't want people to know what really happened. I mean, they were very rebellious people that stood up against, tyranny and killed over it. We killed I don't know how many British soldiers and redcoats because they wanted to control our lives at that time. Boston Tea Party. In Boston, it got really bad. I knew that the British sustained massive amounts of casualties. So it's very interesting. I mean, we had thousands upon thousands of militiamen all fight and kill a lot of redcoats. And it's just crazy to think that, Paul Revere was actually captured after he rode through to warn the British were coming.
They put him in prison too, didn't they?
Yeah, and they didn't teach us that in school. People should be learning this kind of stuff because, what you're celebrating every Independence Day is literally insurrection. You're celebrating insurrection from tyranny. They want to call what happened on January 6th an insurrection. What I find funny is how the government now says that you would need F-15s and nukes to take the government on, but it's also the same government who said that an unarmed mob almost took over the government on January 6th. Makes no sense at all.
I think you would agree with me. It seems like we're repeating history right now.
History repeats itself.
It does. I mean, this isn't the first time that something has happened. Whether we're talking about, them trying to take our guns or whatever, but there's something that's happened in the past that they recreated in the past 10, 15 years. Mm-hmm. And it's just ridiculous.
It's stupid. I mean, the Declaration of Independence freed us literally individually. And there's a lot of people that are against the Constitution, people who are against the Bill of Rights, even modern day younger people like myself and Dylan. A lot of call them progressives, I would say, think that like the Bill of Rights is racist, and
yeah,
I can understand.
They think that everything is racist.
They do. And I can understand the frustration by some people criticizing like Thomas Jefferson and George Washington for owning slaves, because they did. But I'm not defending that, but they still stood for freedom. That's why we celebrate. So make sure you remember that.
But I would say that
July, for sure.
I would say that about half the people in the United States don't even know what or the 4th of July even stands for. Like,
no, I seen a video on Facebook where we was
like, we'll just celebrate, get messed up, get drunk, whatever. That's all they care about. They think it's just a party holiday.
Yeah,
it's like the New Year's. They don't know the true meaning of it.
There's a reason we get together with our families and we barbecue and we let off fireworks. And I mean, that's to celebrate.
On Memorial Day.
It's to celebrate our freedom. Yes. So just remember that whenever the British came to take our guns, we shot them. And we won. So that's what you're celebrating every year. Continue to do that.
Yeah,
keep celebrating it.
Don't ever let up.
Yep. So make sure you guys keep your rifles by your side. Join the FPC.
Also join the GOA.
Absolutely. And keep your rifles by your side.
And carry on.
Never stop celebrating the 4th of July.
Thanks for watching.
They'll come loud and they'll come fast, but we shoot first and we can last. Keep your rifle